Hello, I'm Tamara Backhouse, and I'm going to talk to you about our observational study of personal care interactions with people with advanced dementia. And this study took place in both family settings and in care home settings. People in the later stages of dementia often require considerable assistance with their personal care. However, some personal care interactions can be difficult for the person with dementia and for their caregiver. We aim to examine personal care interactions with people with advanced dementia in both family and care home settings to enable learning from each setting to inform the development of some educational resources for caregivers. We used one-off video recorded observations of personal care interactions when the person with dementia was covered and not fully undressed, such as with teeth cleaning or hair washing. We analysed the video recordings with the Resistance to Care Dementia Alzheimer's Type Scale and the Menor Part Engagement Scale. And two researchers independently rated the first 5 minutes of each observation. Full-length observations and observation transcripts were thematically analysed as well in a qualitative way. There were 14 pairs took part in the study, a person with dementia and their caregiver. 5 of these were from family settings and 9 from care home settings. In total, we had 26 video recorded observations of personal care interactions, and the interactions were chosen by each caregiver as ones that would be acceptable to the person with dementia and themselves to be video recorded. And total observation time added up to just over 3 hours. So what did we find? This graph shows the percentages, and in blue is the care home settings, and in orange is the family carer settings. We found that people with dementia in our sample in the care home settings experienced less refusals and discomfort and participated in the care activity more. We also found that people with dementia in the family settings experienced more pleasure than those in the care home settings. In terms of refusals of care, pushing away and saying no were the most common modes of refusal. From our qualitative analysis, we found that both caregiver groups used the same engagement techniques throughout care activities. They would endorse the person's actions, using the words such as "that's it" or "well done" to make sure the person knew they were doing the right thing. They would use partnership working, using the words "we" and "us" rather than "you" and "I." There was lots of humour in the observations and perhaps some in-jokes too. Non-verbal communication was common. Perhaps the caregiver would mimic the action of cleaning their teeth so the person with dementia could see what they were going to do. And here the caregiver touches the person's left ear so they know where to put their hearing aid in. Using the person's name was also common to get the person's attention and so that the person knew that the caregiver meant them. Most conversation across all video recordings and in both settings was procedural, talking about the care activity. For example, "we're just going to pop your top on," rather than any social communication. There were differences across settings. Care home staff would describe the care activity in a minimising way, using the words such as "just," "pop," or "quickly." They also demonstrated their familiarity with the person, talking about recent experiences they'd had together, in jokes, the person's routine or family. And they would explain the care activity. And in family settings, family carers would praise the person with dementia a bit more and use clear instructions. Sometimes people with dementia would struggle to be heard by caregivers, particularly if they were trying to refuse a care activity and the caregiver was hoping to get it completed. And most people with dementia were in need of reassurance throughout the care activities, often checking with the caregiver about what they had to do and whether they were doing it right. Sometimes mixed messages were given between assenting and refusing, which made it difficult for the caregivers to decide how to proceed. In conclusion, we can conclude that discomfort and resistance can occur in personal care interactions in advanced dementia. However, there is also much scope for engagement in the care activity and for pleasure. And the findings provide much needed insight into ways to improve care experiences for people with advanced dementia. For example, we can learn about using the engagement techniques mentioned previously, listening to the person, offering guidance and reassurance throughout the care activity, and checking the person's assent. Thank you for listening.